Hey guys, it's Sarah. I am back with another vlog to talk about my first vendoring event of 2025. Woohoo! So, I was vendoring at Second and PCH at Long Beach. It was a Valentine's Day event with 714 Market. And yeah, it was my first event of the year, and I think I wanted to document my thought process behind every single event. Just because I want to, continue learning and kind of see and, dump my thoughts. 714 Market has always been like a good market at Second and PCH. So I was like, okay, I'm going to kind of like stick with them and then see how that is. Because I do know that my market is obviously like niche, it's Filipinos. So I'm curious to know if I go to these other events, like how much of like the crowd will actually engage with my stuff, because usually whenever I do have an event and it's non-Filipinos coming up, they're always like, oh, like I have a Filipino like boyfriend, girlfriend, my mother-in-law is Filipino, things like that. Or if it's like, oh, I have 2 Filipino friends, things like that. So I'm just like, okay, cool, like it does reach a market that are non-Filipinos, but I'm just curious like how consistent that is, especially with like Long Beach being, a good amount of Filipinos, but does February impact it with it being, almost Valentine's Day and stuff like that. It was a good event, I think. So the vendor fee for this is usually like $175, and the setup, it's not a full setup, so I guess it makes it easier for me. It's like a simple outdoor setup where you only just bring an umbrella. It just so happened that this time there was an umbrella already provided, so I didn't need to put that up, so that helped me out. But yeah, we didn't have to like bring the whole tent, but I did bring 2 tables. So usually I am at like a corner where I do have more space, but this time I was actually in the middle between 2 vendors, and so I wasn't working with as much space, and so the setup that I had was like an L shape with like the clothing rack on the other side of like where the L closed, but it wasn't accessible for people to look through. So I definitely want to kind of think through how to optimize that, because like the flow of traffic was like not there. And this time I did have my wheel, but then I also added another thing where if they also tag me on the story and stuff, they can spin this like little vending machine capsule. And then what I'm planning to do is that like, oh, if you like collect 20, you could come back and you can get like a piece of merch. So I'm going to test out different things to also help market me and like, have a really fun experience when they do visit my booth. So that's what I was like kind of thinking through. What I noticed that like it works with smaller tables, because I was using 2 6-foot tables, so just like the standard size. And so I think next time maybe I'll try bringing a smaller one, or maybe like downsizing. But yeah, I would say that I do want to experiment more on the layout, because it felt very overwhelming even for me and like my eyes too. But it's okay, it's a learning experience, especially being like in a new spot unlock. So that was cool. I do know that like for next time, if I do plan to do it that way, I think I'm going to do smaller tables and open it up, because I think people really enjoy swiping through for the clothes, because people were like, oh, can I go back here to look through the stuff? So I'd rather have that a bit more forward, so that they don't feel like they have to come into my space to like, look through it. They can freely touch whatever they want, because I want to enjoy that. I'm more of like a shy shopper, so I'd want to just like touch anyways without having to like ask to like, can I look at this? Things like that. But yeah, so it was an interesting layout. I would say that, maybe it was less foot traffic because I was in a different spot, and less foot traffic in general because like Valentine's Day is coming up, so maybe they're gonna spend next week. It's also still like very early in the year. It's like I don't know if people want to be spending yet, or they're still just like on their like New Year's grind of like they're still in the gym and doing all that other stuff. But yeah, overall it was a good experience. Like I can't complain. My only goal is like being able to get something out of the day, whether it's like at the very least making up my vendor fee, or if it's like shooting content, etc. It's always going to be a good day, even just like if it is kind of a slow day, it's like at least vendoring and meeting other people. So that's also what I enjoy, is being able to see the same vendors and then also get to know and talk to them. This last event, I had a new layout. Since it was my first event of the year, I was like, okay, let me clean down all my stuff. I haven't put in new signage yet. I was kind of doing it the night before, because I was doing a lot of like new things. So I tested out some new earrings. Obviously I still had like my keychains before, but yeah, so I had the keychains, earrings. I sold one, which is cool. myself, but I'm like, okay, let me think of ways to make this even cuter, things like that. I sold dog clothes, but yeah, I was just doing a lot of different new things for this one, and I plan to keep continually testing more products and doing new things. But yeah, I honestly just want to be able to sell out of everything so that I can, you know, start fresh in terms of like, I want to source different blanks and other, you know, very cool, quirky things, because I feel like that's really on brand for me. Different stuff like that. So that's what I plan to do. I think another thing, as I was doing these new products, I was like, oh cool, I think I should create a capsule in terms of like, you know, I plan to do not a rebrand, but like I plan to do collections, things like that. Things are gonna go out of season and like out of sale, and like, you know, if it's out of stock, I might just never restock it. So I plan to create like a collection in terms of like me myself keeping it, because, you know, as I'm progressing and creating new products, I'm never gonna really have always the original. Like even for my original ube shirt that I created before I even had, you know, a brand, unfortunately it got taken in the Philippines, so I don't have it. It was washed and then I never got it back. But yeah, that's okay. But yeah, now I want to be more mindful of that, because I think down the line when I see more of my products and things like that, you know, when I get into like other stuff like, you know, jewelry or whatever, it's like, oh cool, like Kilig Ko started from like, you know, just clothes or like things like that. So yeah, that's just some of the things that I'm kind of like working on. But yeah, now I'm going to basically be doing other events. I still want to kind of break into like, you know, non-Filipino events and see how I do there, but maybe it might be sticking to like, you know, a bit more Asian centric areas or populated areas, things like that. But yeah, those were just like my thoughts on, you know, my first event of the year. Very interesting experience, and I can't wait to do more of this year and being able to bring you guys along for that experience and my thoughts. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to, you know, join me along this journey of building a small business. Okay, bye guys.